Where do we begin?
I think that's the goal there, to be honest. That hockey was phenomenal.
Oh, we're sponsored by, well, a man can
A
dream.
man can dream,
Wow,
but
Mike.
we're moving on to the second round against the Battle of Alberta. Let's go!
Hey, Bruce, there it is. Bruce, there it was. I mean,
St. Louis decided to just blow up completely in the trade deadline.
I wish it wasn't Adam Fox.
It's two juggernauts just colliding with each other. If he doesn't beat Tampa in the first round, he's out of a job.
Isn't that
What?
weird? Boom, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast with my boy B-Dog. I am T-Dog. We are here in person live doing a podcast on a couch, no longer a screen, well, just for today, but it's a pretty sick setup, man. I mean, got the jerseys up in the back there, and
Yeah.
we're repping like, what? DeBrincat, Bedard, Devontae's contract, Ovi not shooting the puck. It's actually the perfect setup.
Yeah, we got the next generational talent in Bedard. We got the declining Ovi jerseys. We got the DeBrincat putting up over a point per game. And we got whatever Nathan McKinnon's doing in Colorado. But hey, they haven't lost a game yet. So welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast. And yeah, it is kind of weird that we are doing it not on screen, but we're in live for once. So we thought we would do that. T-Dog, we haven't talked about sports since sports wasn't happening yet. So let's get right into it with some news that happened before the season started.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but let me just pull her up here. So, start of the season, a few questions from a few teams, specifically Winnipeg being one of them.
Yeah.
They were amongst with the Flames in the sense of who's signing where. But the Jets, before that first game where they lost 5-3, by the way, re-signed the key players that were a part of those talks. So Connor Hellebuyck gets his contract there. 7 years worth $8.5 million AAV, as well as Mark Scheifele. 7 years worth $8.5 AAV. So pretty similar contracts. I have nothing else to say, really, but they're worth it. They haven't looked like that with how Winnipeg started the season.
True.
But Hellebuyck is honestly worth more than 8.5, you know?
I mean, true.
And Scheifele, that's the money you pay for a player, a forward like him. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think I wanted to kind of talk about this because we even saw Jesse Pollock was super excited that he did get those two players back because there was a lot of talks, even in the offseason, that they didn't want to re-sign. And it looked like Winnipeg was going on their own way kind of to a rebuild. So we thought that, but no, they signed them both long-term, and I think Winnipeg really needed to do this because not every now and then you have a generational goaltender like Hellebuyck alone, and you don't want to lose your franchise center in Mark Scheifele, even though they are technically almost in their 30s now. So they are going to start declining by the end of these contracts. Well, probably even less than that by that chance, but I think this still was needed for Winnipeg because who knows? Maybe they wouldn't be able to afford having a team still if they went into a rebuild.
you know, with Winnipeg, to me, it's the core they have isn't cutting it.
Oh, no.
Now, here's the thing. With Hellebuyck, exactly, how getting another goalie at that caliber, that's difficult.
Exactly.
Trading for one is really difficult. Drafting one's really difficult, and that takes time. But at the same time, I was on the side where they should just retool, right? Like, you know, get some. I thought they might have a decent, maybe not decent, but they have some good young players. And forces, you know, players like Velarde are injured.
Yeah.
But I mean, who they have signed, and drafted there's some promise. Winnipeg's in a weird spot.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a reason why them having the lowest attendance out of all of the NHL is a concern.
Yeah.
Because, well, one, it's Winnipeg and it's in Canada, but two, it's their identity isn't there.
Well, it was also another thing with Vladar too. When he was first starting off the season on the first line, he looked very promising playing with Connor and Scheifele too. So I noticed that during the Flames game in the first game. But yeah, sadly enough, he did get injured, which is a big loss for Winnipeg. And then another thing you want to mention too with Hellebuyck is he hasn't had the greatest start to his season. He started 3 games, he's 1-2. and he has a goals against average of over 4 and a save percentage of like 8.34%. So he's not looking that good. He's not living up to the contract, but it's only a few games in. It's 5 games in. You can't judge anyone off of 5 games.
Not elite
unless
numbers.
you're Daryl Sutter with Matthew Phillips. That one hurt.
Shall we get back into that later?
Oh yes, we'll get into that later. But yeah, I think now Winnipeg is also still in the crisis that Calgary kind of is. There's no true identity yet. You have a lot of long contracts going on for your star players, but I think Winnipeg realistically needed to keep that.
Winnipeg, amongst other teams, are in positions that I don't think we all expected at the start of the season.
No.
This has been a weird start to say for some teams.
Oh, yes.
Let me just name a few off the top of my head. 1, Philly is top in their division. And they've actually looked somewhat decent. I really think getting back Couturier has helped them immensely.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit's looking great. DeBrincat was a solid signing. And the Yzer plan looks like it's back on its wheels.
Yeah, definitely.
Even this, Boston looks like they're missing a key piece in Bergeron, but it's not like they're missing their step completely.
They haven't lost a game.
Teams like Vancouver, Talkett seems to get them going. Like, that team looks like they want to compete, and they are competing correctly. Well, teams like, Columbus hasn't looked all right. No. Chicago, you can kind of tell, like, they're still going to be a bottom feeder team. Edmonton, okay, maybe that's one we can talk about,
Oh, yes,
too.
Edmonton is a team we need
That's
to talk
a struggle.
about.
And as we talk right now, they're up 2-1 against Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it something with Edmonton where they feel they don't really need to put on the Jets up until playoff time because, they're expected to be a playoff caliber team?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they in their head? Or what? Because this is just, I don't know. It's weird, man.
I think one thing out of the first 5 games you had to take from Edmonton is the lack of effort there is something understandable that you were trying to mention of, they're trying to save the Jets for longer down the season, because I think Edmonton knows what it can be, especially with the players and the talent they have. But it might be just them trying to save the wheels. But I think also another thing with Edmonton you have to notice, is their goaltending situation, because they threw Jack Campbell in against Vancouver, 4 goals on him. They put Skinner on him. They put Skinner as a replacement, 4 goals on him, and the goaltending has not been there for Edmonton this year so far. So that's concerning, very so. But I think again, you might have to look at your options, especially on the market, see if it is worth getting a goaltender, getting rid of Jack Campbell's contract. Because you don't want to lose a guy like Skinner yet.
It's going to be tough. But it's true. You don't want to lose Skinner because there's potential there. And you've seen each season that he plays, he's progressing well.
I think the real question is, if we're 20 games down the line and Edmonton's goaltending is still performing the way it is, what do you realistically do in that situation? Do you take the opportunity and risk your goaltending tandem for a trade to a different goalie, or do you stick with it and hope it gets its edge back? Because I think Skinner can do it, but I don't know about Campbell.
In all honesty, you just kind of ride the wave. I think it's good to get adversity out of the way initially, so that might benefit Edmonton in the long run. But yeah, if you are having these problems, let's just say they lose this game to Winnipeg. Like, Winnipeg's a team that's struggling as of now. So you start losing to other struggling teams. Like, what does that say too about your confidence in your team? And yeah, you get to that 20 game mark. Oh man, it's like media's going after you. Yeah. It should be your year, right? And yeah, what do you do? That's a great question. You could look in the market, but do you also want to make a rash decision that could ultimately affect the long-term results as well?
No.
That's a hard one. It's just ultimately $5 million for Campbell just looks...
It looks bad right
icky.
now. It really does.
I guess it could be worse in the sense of, like, money-wise, but yeah, you got to fix that. But I don't think they've looked well defensively. I think McDavid and Draisaitl look fine. Maybe they expect a little more from Connor Brown right now. I think that hasn't been too whatever. I think who you need to see more from is... Why did you bring in Evander Kane, right? Great.
Yeah.
A little bit of scoring there, too. We haven't seen much of that. I think RNH does look like he'll probably regress compared to last year. Hyman's looked fine.
I mean, he had a 100-point season, so once you cap he might drop back to, I would say, a 60 to a 70.
Yeah. But
I guess you could also say
it's an offensive game, man. But that's what gets you winning playoff series. So
I mean, that's true.
I hope you fix it.
When you mention even the media right now on them in 20 games, the coaching staff is obviously already kind of fed up with how the performance has been. And you kind of see that with their head coach right now.
Woodcroft hasn't looked happy, that's for sure.
He's looked mad. When you go from a conference finals 2 years ago to a second-round exit, and now you're having a bad start to the season, it's not a good look for a team that's supposed to be a finals contender right now. So,
100%.
Edmonton, I hope that you guys, well, as a Flames fan, I hope you don't turn it around at all. But for my predictions I did in the Pacific, I pray to God you turn around because I don't want to be that wrong.
Yeah, I think they will. Again, what I said about adversity, maybe it's good they get it out of the way now. It's weird. I just didn't expect it, especially losing to specific teams that you should probably have in the bag. But, there could be 5 games. It's hard to not over-exaggerate. And as I talk about over-exaggeration, this one is something because he's had a rough start. But here's the thing. We're talking about, most players, 5 games in, you're not, certain players are like, yeah, you should score, but some you're not. It's just because it's Ovechkin. But, what worries everyone is he finally losing the step?
Oh.
Again, it's 5 games in, so it could be an exaggeration. But on the other hand, or not on the other hand, but to also add to this, the Capitals team doesn't look good at all.
I mean,
they just don't mesh well right now. These changes need to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Washington's situation is, you can't really look at the almost 40-year-old guy expecting him to still lead the team like he did when he was 30. I think that's a little bit of too much pressure on a guy that's been in the league too long to be. You don't expect the guy to be dropping 10 goals already this early because Matthews did that and now he's going a little bit quiet because he got 2 hat tricks in the first 2 games of the season. So is it a little bit of an exaggeration on Ovi a little bit? Yeah, but you got to also realize if we're talking about Ovi progressing throughout the rest of the season and declining, he puts that 50-goal season probably 30-goal season.
Yeah.
And that's what an average talented top 6 forward in this league could do on a good year. So if you expect Ovi having a 30, 35 goal season this year, it could be this year probably, but he'll still break the record. And that's pretty good when you have a declining player like that. And he still puts up 30 a year.
You don't want to see the decline because you want to see it happen soon.
Yeah. I think you see it with Crosby too.
It just halts it. Ovi, I'm just looking at the stats today against the Canadiens. He had an assist and he had 5 shots on goal.
Oh, so he is, but he's trying.
Right, getting up there and everything. But again, Caps are just struggling this year. And it's funny, we've always compared the Caps and the Pens, and I think we do this just because we're so used to this.
Yeah, it's been like this since 2010.
Years, right? That they're in the similar echelon of teams.
Oh my God.
But, Pittsburgh definitely seems to have more of that promise than Washington this year. I think they're taking the step back.
I think another topic I kind of want to shift to is, so earlier today, we had the Detroit Red Wings versus the Ottawa Senators. And there was a fight that broke out between both teams. And you saw DeBrincat going at Brady Tkachuk a little bit, and they were chirping. So maybe the rumors that DeBrincat was bugged about being a second liner behind Tkachuk was true in this instance of this fight too.
You hope it's not an ego thing.
Yeah.
Because also, why did I say shootout? I don't count shootouts. We tied. Phillips, you're on our team still. You scored. Anyways.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I hope it's not an ego thing because I like DeBrincat's game and. To be honest, sometimes you have to mix up the personalities, but sometimes the personalities make you not like a player.
Yeah, true.
But it could very much be that. So, luckily for Ottawa, Tarasenko is working out right now. Mm-hmm. Although DeBrincat does look better.
Yeah.
Just because of the four goals already.
You know what, though? I think another thing we got to mention, too, if these two teams eventually end up making playoffs, we're going back to, 2000s playoffs hockey. Because they were, they were back and forth.
See them fight each other first round. That's much a possibility.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for these two teams, too, because there's now a little bit of storyline behind it. But, yeah, I'm so excited. But another shocking team, I think, from the west side of the conference is Vancouver.
Yep.
I think Vancouver is done a lot of promising stuff. It started off with those 2 games against Edmonton. They take 2 W's, but then you got shut out by the Flyers, which is shocking. So I think Vancouver's still a team that has no identity, but Elias Pettersson is trying to prove that he's worth probably 11, 12 million per year.
You say no identity, and I'm trying to rebuttal that, but maybe you're right. One thing with this team that is helping them very much so is a good coach in Rick Tocchet.
Oh, yeah.
And as much as that whole Bruce Boudreau thing sucked, and he did not deserve that at all, it might have been a good decision to get someone in like Tocchet. He's pushing this team to be better. Now, here's the thing, right? Where it comes to with Vancouver, if you don't make playoffs, what happens? You probably lose Patterson. Is he playing for the contract? Is he gonna? No matter what happens, is he even gonna attempt to stay? Even if you do make playoffs, I don't know. But the team definitely looks better in what they should have been the past few seasons. It's tough. It's good for them. I just can they hold it up? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Hard to see. I mean, that 8-1 win against Edmonton was solid. You win, and then you win again on Edmonton ice 4-3, and you hold them off.
Yeah.
The defense has looked respectable as well. And you do lose, right? To Philly, Tampa 4-3, but then you went into Florida, right? And although Florida does have some injuries, probably not the team that you're thinking about last season.
But that is still a team that went to a finals last season, too.
Exactly.
So a win against Florida right now looks really promising for your team. And, just like I would probably say Vancouver, you really need to either start getting the extension with Elias Pettersson going, or maybe try by trade deadline if you're not in a playoff spot. Do what Buffalo did with Eichel.
Yeah, you hope you can get some talks into there as well, too. Trade Garland and get someone. Anthony Matha's on there. I don't know if you really want to do a forward for a forward.
Oh, God.
There's a few. Yoel Armia, too. So there's a few forward pieces, but I wonder maybe they are looking. We haven't even mentioned this, too. Captaincy. Quinn Hughes. That also helps a lot. Quinn Hughes is fantastic. His skating is something else.
Fantastic defenseman.
It is amazing. And you know what? Especially if they get Kirsten Soucy back, it's going to be pretty nice. The defense, they've looked much better.
True.
And, goaltending. I mean, you expect that from Demko, though. You expect a solid performance. And that's what they're getting. So, ultimately, things are working in their way. I know they're just 3-2. But, I expected a much worse start. And you can take good starts and help you lead yourself to a good regular season. With some of the, and I say that because some teams that I believe the only way they will make the playoffs if they have a good start, some of them aren't having. We'll kind of get into that, of course, later. But Vancouver's doing the opposite, so that's good for them.
I think Vancouver, keep it up, or... Yeah, just Vancouver. Vancouver's such a weird team, in my opinion. I wasn't expecting them to have to start like they did, and I guess we haven't seen. There's a few teams we weren't expecting the start for them to have, especially like Edmonton, for say. But I think we could also mention another team now as we switch it basically over the Flames talk, and our Calgary Flames.
Oh yeah.
They 5 games in, 2-1. T-Dog. How are you feeling about the team? What are the positives? What are the negatives?
Honestly, buddy, here's the thing. I expected them to be in this scenario.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. To me, nothing was changed enough that would make me believe something would change.
No.
You lose to Foley. Sharon Govich, at least he looks good on the fourth line. But you lost Tyler Toffoli. That's Toffoli would have been great for a game like Washington. Buffalo you won.
Yeah.
Or even Columbus, sorry. Break this down. Okay, they look good against Winnipeg. Markstrom He's been a positive. That's been great.
Very, very positive.
We don't look good defensively. We do not look good defensively, and it could be because it's a new system under a new coach. But turnover central, neutral zone problems, which has been the problem for how many seasons now?
Chasing the puck. Oh my God.
It's been
a
those,
few years.
And those are costing us a lot.
Yeah.
We're still getting shot volume. There's a lot of Sutter-isms in Huska. That's what I'm starting to realize, right? A few things I would like, Mr. Ryan Huska. Coronado with Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coronado in the first power play. Oh my God! Why wouldn't you? He did so well in the first power play.
For sure.
Why would you take him off the first power play?
Try and work on the giveaways. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But the team's got it. But for real though, the team has to play better defensively. This can it doesn't look good. And you know what? Maybe we thought we would fix it because we'd get Shillington back, but now we're not going to have Shillington again.
No.
I do not know what's going to happen with that. Hopefully he's all right and everything. But we just don't look at defensively, man.
No.
I'm going to say it 100 times because that... I don't know if I expected it because I thought we would be better on the back end, but...
Yeah, me too.
It's not just that. It's more of the transition game. The amount of times I've seen where everyone gets up on the rush and then it leads to a turnover where it's like a 3-on-2, something like that, some sort of odd man rush. Not good.
No,
right?
Not good at all.
And you can't sustain it. Just the way that they're playing, you can't sustain that and expect yourself to even be close to a playoff spot.
I mean, okay, so yeah, you did mention we looked pretty decent against Winnipeg in the first win, and I think the biggest positive you have to take out of this is our best player is Markstrom, which is a really good sign because obviously we talked about all offseason. He did have the struggle of last season, and could you say if he played like he did now, we would have made playoffs? Sure, we would have probably made that wild card spot. You can make a case for that, but now you look at him so far this season, and he...
Hi, Cat.
Hi, Cat. Yeah, we got cats in this video. Cool. He's bounced back, 100%. He's having a bounce back right now, which is great to see. Yeah. But the rest of the team is still playing like last year, which is killing me because I look at that power play. Power play hasn't changed. It looked so good in the preseason when you had Coronado on the first line, and I think you need to put him right back there. 100%.
It looked good the first game.
Yeah.
But besides that, it hasn't really been much.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that. Definitely defensively, for a very defensive team, we like chasing the puck in our own zone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was brutal.
Yeah.
I watched that Columbus game, and we were just chasing and chasing and chasing. And who decided to make Zadorov the quarterback defenseman to start the play? I'm sorry. Every time I see this guy take the puck and start going up the ice with it, I'm like, he's going to turn it over. It's going to just shoot down the ice, and they're going to pick it up, and we're going to do it.
It's weird because I thought we had a player who wore number 4 named Rasmus Anderson who could do that same thing. Well, I guess you can't anymore when you're suspended.
We'll get into that.
But, yeah, exactly. Zone entry, too. Remember how I was complaining about that last year?
Yeah.
Right? Because Gaudreau's no longer here.
That was the best zone entry I've seen. Best break-in ever.
Yeah, it's a struggle, so there's just those problems. But again, I kind of expected to have some of these problems. Defensively, maybe not, but again, nothing to me changed enough that determines something. I don't know. This is why I didn't come in with the season with expectations, because I see it as a consistent 500 season.
Yeah.
And you have win losses. But here's the thing with Calgary. You have to have a good start to the season. In my opinion, that is the only way you are going to make the playoffs. And if you don't have a good start to the season, I mean, you have a decent record by December. If not, you're not making playoffs, not even close. And then that's what worries me, because you have teams like Vancouver who, if they get a good start too, right, they could just overtop you just because of that, right? You're not going to catch Vegas, right? But, I mean, heck, there are teams that are struggling. Seattle doesn't have the start that they had last season.
True. So
you could possibly overtake a team like that, but not the way that this has been going. It's just looked sloppy. Great to win in Buffalo. That was a great road win. But like you said, the Columbus game,
brutal.
The Pittsburgh game was, third period starts and boom, 2 goals off. Like, they look tired. Like, they were not... This team doesn't help Markstrom. They played well with Vladar.
Yeah.
They do not help Markstrom. And Markstrom legitimately, yeah, he'll let in, like, one softie a game, but that's not even the problem at this point.
But then he, like, robs everything else that comes at him. Oh, my God, it was brutal.
And there's no help from the team in scoring or defensive play.
Yeah, that kind of scares me.
What do you expect?
It really does scare me that we are known as such a defensive playing team, and we're not playing good defense in front of our net. And like I said, we're starting to chase the puck in our own zone where they're leading to open chances, and it's brutal. I really think we don't keep Zadorov after this season for sure. And another thing that's bugged me about the forwards is we don't really have that main star player or anything to really do anything with. Because we look at Huberdeau. I've looked at Huberdeau the last few games, and I feel like he's looking like a third line winger at this point.
But
because
do you agree that he's missing that superstar to play with?
100%.
And I had this conversation with someone actually, and we said the same thing, that Huberdeau needs a superstar to play with. And it's crazy because, like, man, what if, like, Johnny Hockey was still here? In some scenario, right?
Oh my God, dude.
Can you imagine?
I think it would be a lot better because
Huberdeau hasn't played terrible. That's the thing. I'm not gonna get on him for that, but he needs to. But by how much he's getting paid, he needs to.
He needs to shoot.
You know, play a lot, and all his goals have been bounces.
Oh,
and garbage.
They haven't been good shots.
It's just tough because you get paid that money. Like this talk has to happen, right?
And then we have players that are getting paid like $8 million, and I think his is almost. Is 7 point something, but we have players like Kadri playing on the third line, and he's either going to be the very aggressive player or he'll actually be like the depth point per game guy, and he's not either right now. Sure, he did start the fight in Columbus, which was kind of fun to watch, but realistically, this team doesn't have any true stars at the moment, and it's concerning. Yeah. It's really concerning for just in general, because I had the expectation that we could grow out of this and Huska could be a really good coach, and I think he could be. Again, first 5 games in 500 record.
Things could change 100%.
Things could change.
And I would be A-okay with being wrong on my prediction. I don't know. Maybe I saw this.
I was just trying to be hopeful because it's the team I'm liking, and I don't want to have to go through rebuild or retool or whatever we're thinking here with Craig Conroy, but something will have to change soon if we can't get out of this. If in 20 games we are still playing the same way we're going, I might say, if we're still a 500 team, you might have to blow it.
Yeah.
Well, because you could probably get Markstrom off. If Markstrom's playing like this all the way until trade deadline, you could get him for good pieces.
But the team's not going to do it. They're going to run this up until they no longer can, and so...
That or when the fans are asking for heads.
I was looking for retooling, man. It's not going to happen, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, that same problem with kind of paying the money. I mean, look at how much you pay Sharon Govich, and he's your fourth line guy now. Which he's looked good on the fourth line, but not for that money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole problem. I think Coronado can be that superstar, but it's his first season. It's going to take time.
Yeah, I think it will take time, but it will. I think that one will pay off, but Huberdeau really does have to get his edge back and shoot the puck, dude. When you're on a 2-on-1, don't always look for the pass. You had the chance to shoot and you didn't take it. I know you have a shot that's good. It's just you don't want to take it. And you're showing Flames fans right now that you don't have the superstar ability that we're paying you for, and it's concerning.
Calgary's just destroyed his confidence.
It really did.
That's what sucks, man, because I don't know. I'll also be hopeful for this season. Again, 5 games in, but... I can't help but think, I kind of expected this. I'm disappointed, but...
Again, we're still 2-2-1. We're only 500, which isn't pretty, but at least we're not lost all 5 games.
Yeah, let's see how they play against Detroit. If they can put up a solid... They play Detroit tomorrow, right?
Yeah, they play Detroit. If they can play a really solid game against Detroit, I think that will bring... Yeah, it's just I really need this team to show more. I think Coronado's looked really good, though. For a rookie who's 5 games in, he looks good with the puck on his hands and without.
How about some of the other young guys? I think Dewars looked I think Ruzicka, he's gotten some...
Ruzicka looks better. I mean, He's a big guy. I didn't realize how tall.
Yeah,
Like, how
Conroy
big
loves
guy.
big guys. That's again like this is very Sutter-esque, man. It's
And Samuel Hunzick too. Oh
yeah.
my god. Okay.
He's injured now.
Yeah.
Can't
So-
get away from it, eh?
So since we're on the Flames talk and we're mentioning this team, I think we should discuss what happened yesterday during the Columbus game. Anderson kind of did something dirty, a little bit dirty.
4 games though.
4 games,
I don't know.
a little bit much.
Here's the thing, specifically 4 games. That last game is the Classic, the Heritage Classic. Convenient. Yeah,
convenient.
okay. You know, he just need to make sure that McDavid scores a 10 in his new uniform. That's
in
why.
his new stadium and
Yeah, it was late. Probably anger got to him. I've seen worse hits. Can
I've
I
seen
say
worse.
that without getting canceled?
I mean, I have seen worse hits, but 4
I
games
don't know
for
about 4
that-
games. I thought 2.
I mean, it was pretty straight to the head. I'm not gonna lie. He did throw his shoulder, and then I think Line
Laine
kind
had
of
his
went
head
low.
down. Like, I'm not trying to be whatever. I hope Laine's
I'm not
okay.
trying to support him.
But Laine does have injury. Doesn't Laine have concussion?
Oh
things?
yes, he has.
That's
like,
okay. So
almost
maybe
everything.
maybe those are factors why they said more. It's like, well, think about it. Is Anderson a repeat offender? I cannot remember.
I don't
if he is or
remember
not.
if he is, but again, I don't think when it's like 2 seconds left in a game.
Kadri would have got 8 games.
Yeah,
He would've got 8 games.
Kadri would have gone 8 for how many times he's gotten fucking kicked out of games. But I think realistically with Anderson, you don't need to throw a hit like that with 2 seconds left in a game.
No.
You're mad because you just lost
No,
to
it's true.
Columbus, and you guys didn't play well. So honestly, it kind of sucks. But I'm interested how we will play. Oh, actually, there's another player I'm actually very impressed by. Dennis Gilbert.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked what Dennis Gilbert has done in the last few games he has played with us, especially against Buffalo. He did set up that whole play for the 1 goal
his
to win us
hometown.
the game.
He in the games he has played even last year showed like solid bottom pairing guy.
We're good, keep going.
Just a solid bottom pairing guy. You know, glad you brought him up. I mean, I'll be honest, because I've been so busy, I haven't been able to watch the games like live. I've just been watching highlights and looking at reviews and everything. I haven't really seen too much of Gilbert, but I'm glad you brought him up because that's good because that means that at least we are getting some of the young prospects and the young guys to produce something.
Yeah,
And there's promise with it because the veteran guys aren't.
literally.
So,
I think
like Mangiapane's looked kind of silent since the first game. Lindholm has looked good. I would
Lindholm's
say.
good.
This be a big contract and we sign him. Oh goodness.
Blake Coleman got one good one-timer against Buffalo that would look sick. It made Matt Coronado's hockey IQ look really good.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I think one thing that you and I will probably take out of this whole season alone coming up is we are able. Conroy likes giving those rookies and those young guys a chance, and I think that's what we're
Okay,
not going
maybe
to be
that's
used
not
to.
Sutter-isms.
No, that's not.
That's different.
That's not Sutterisms at all. And I think that's what realistically we kind of wanted to see from last year. So I think if there's, however the season will go, those young players will get their chances and play up to 20 to 30 games to see what they can do, at least in this league, because we do still have some of those prospects in the Wranglers that look promising.
Yep.
But we need to see how they do an NHL roster for a couple games to see what they can actually do and show their potential, right?
I mean,
So-
I wouldn't mind. I could see Pelletier when he's back from injury coming to the team because.
oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think about AJ Greer? Like, has he been able to bring the physical presence?
Oh, on the fourth line, yeah. I would definitely say
That's
he
good,
brought the
right?
physical
That's
presence
good,
back. I mean, that whole fourth line has performed pretty
That's
well.
true.
That is...
I
That,
haven't
it
complained
looks a
much.
lot better than Lucic running on the fourth line
True,
still.
true.
Actually, sorry, he would be in the top 6. What am I talking about? God, Lucic in the top 6.
Oh,
Those were the
man.
days. But
Yeah,
hey,
Lucic.
we don't have his contract anymore, and I'll call that happy. But... hey guys, that's what I think we'll have for today. What do you guys think of the NHL season so far? What do you think of the NHL season so far? We are 5 games in. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. Over 300 on YouTube, and we're still growing every day on TikTok as well. We love the support you give. T-Dog. wrap this up, my dude.
Like B-Dog said, thank you very much for listening, watching, however you are consuming this content. If you did, leave a like, comment down below. Question of the day, what teams in the league right now are surprising you and which teams are not surprising you? And why is it the team that you root for? Because expectations get low over here, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, guys, like Nardwar said, keep on rocking in the free world. And hey, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on putting those winter tires on because snow's about to fall, hey?
Hallelujah.
Let's get to it. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.